Free now, so I'll call April 9th meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone on this wet night, and also would like to welcome those that are watching by way of internet to our board meeting here tonight. On the calendar, we got a special call meeting coming up on April the 17th at 5 p.m. over across the street, correct? So, councilmen, we're there for probably a budget session. Then on Saturday, April the 20th, Mountain Heritage Market from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then our regular board meeting will be April the 23rd here at Town Hall. Okay. Move on to public comment. You got some public comment here? Atlantic. Kansas Atlantic, are you here?
Well, the first time I've been in this position, but I live at 465.
You don't have to give your address.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just here today, because we have a public meeting on the historic preservation of the hospital. And I just want to make sure that we have, all the guests from property owner. We, live right across from that building, and we love to sit there.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yes, did you have that microphone on? I thought,
No, sir.
yeah, I didn't. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Blake,
Yoder.
one of my good friends.
All right, my name is Blake Yoder. Town Council, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I reside in the town limits of Waynesville. In addition to being a resident of the town, I'm also a small business owner in Frog Level. After a year of observation and business in Frog Level, it has become my opinion that problems in Frog Level are more perceived than they are actual. My intuition and experience leads me to believe that in addition to the vacant buildings in Frog Level, general lack of upkeep in Frog Level has contributed to this perception. So I'm asking the council today to consider two discrete iterations and improvements to the curb appeal in Frog Level. One, the pedestrian light, also known as the walk, don't walk sign, at the intersection of Commerce Street and Depot Street has been wrecked for a majority of the past year, most likely clipped by a larger vehicle driving on Depot. Two, the crosswalk at the intersection of Commerce Street and Depot Street has faded to time and is quite difficult to see. The combination of a wrecked pedestrian light and a non-existent crosswalk guide on Commerce and Depot contribute to a less than stellar public perception in the neighborhood and a dangerous pedestrian experience. I hope the town can fix the pedestrian light and repaint the crosswalk for practical reasons, but also symbolic reasons to show the town and its people that Frog Level has a seat at the table. Thank you.
Town manager just took notice of that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Is that all public comment you have there, Mr. Town Attorney?
Those are the only.
Oh, okay, all right. That's great.
I did say that in the opposite.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a change to the consent agenda, item 2C, which is called for a public hearing for April the 23rd. I'd like to change that to call for a public hearing on May the 4th to consider a Longview subdivision conditional district map. 14th. What did I say? 4th. Oh, that's what I'm thinking about. I was thinking of Star Wars. May the 14th, and that's at the request of the applicant.
Okay, I'll need a motion with that amendment If you would, please.
Yes, I'll make a motion to change item 2C to call for public hearing for May the 14th.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show a like sign.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Maybe we adopt the consent agenda with the.
Before we do that, can I, ask about the motion that was made to, approve find the conditional map amendment as proposed being consistent with the 2035 plan? I'm particularly interested in the statement that says, the developer will pay in lieu for sidewalk construction contingent that it be with staff recommendation. It was my recollection that staff recommendation was that specific stretch of sidewalk, starting at the kind of a little above the entrance to the club and then extending up Longview. And is Olga here, or perhaps yeah.
Yes, sir. In the minutes, I don't have those in front of me, but staff did recommend that we prioritize that stretch of Longview.
Okay. And if we are, shouldn't it be that specific stretch? And obviously, staff recommendation is that specific stretch, but is there, mightn't it be better to just go ahead and list that specific stretch?
I think that's actually what my motion was.
Yeah.
So you're, okay. So
Yeah, my motion was that it was to be from that long view from, and I forget the streets.
Yeah.
Thing, but that was my motion, was to make it that very specific piece.
From Nineveh.
Exactly.
Towards,
Yeah.
Yep.
Longview.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think,
then so John, are you making a motion to amend the
Oh.
minutes to reflect Alderman Sutton's motion
Yeah.
as stated?
Everything you just said except Councilman Sutton.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes. So that is my motion.
Second.
Second by Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign.
Now, I move we adopt the consent agenda with the change to the minutes, as voted on, and the change to the public hearing for May 14th. as
Motion made by
voted on.
Chuck,
second.
second. Anthony, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, we'll move on to item number 3 is a presentation on the program of work for Haywood County PDA. Ms. Corey?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes. But you are closest to me.
Doesn't want to tilt towards me, so I'll try to speak loudly.
The
So
microphone will pick you up.
it'll pick me up?
Set there, as you talk and work it, it gets you close to the.
Okay. So I can't turn my head is what you're saying. I have to awkwardly stand very still.
No, you can turn, set there, so you.
Thank you, Jesse. All right, well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time tonight. I have a report for you. It's our calendar year annual report. Our first time we've done a comprehensive annual report. I'm gonna kind of skim through it, just pick out some highlights. I've given you all a hard copy. And I encourage you afterwards, if you're so inclined, please read through it. And if you have any questions, please reach out and I'd be happy to go through it in any more detail with you. You can go to that other screen, Jesse. The flip book screen, I'm sorry. For those of you that are either watching from home or in the audience, we do have this book on our website, and it will be on the screen momentarily. There we go. And I'm going to jump ahead to pages 4 to 5 for our counselors. So again, this is a whole 12 months worth of work compressed into 20 pages, and I'm going to try to review it with you in about 5 minutes or less. So again, just some quick highlights. One of the best things that tourism gets to do for a community is to give back to it. We get to invest our funding dollars that are from visitors, not from our locals, and invest back in our community and make it a better place to visit, but also a better place to live. That's honestly the favorite part of my job. So you can see in calendar year 23, we were able to invest in 25 capital projects at over $436,000, and then another 22 marketing initiatives and events at over $333,000. And all of that is possible because of the immense visitation that Haywood County has. There's a highlight of some of those projects here, and again, we have a full list back in our office. You can go to the next page, please. A big part of our work is marketing and promotion. It's our job to tell the story of Haywood County and encourage people to want to come here and visit. So this page highlights a whole bunch of different ways that we are able to get that message out there. One thing I'll point out is we launched a new technology called the Wander Map app in July of 23, and just from July through December, over 17,000 unique users downloaded that tool. It was really neat to see the top 5 states of folks using that. You can see that in the book: North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, New York, and South Carolina. New York being an anomaly there for us, which you'll see later. And then I'll call out, because I was talking to Luke about this earlier, the top 5 most viewed places. The 5th one, Waynesville Dog Park. So we know visitors are interested in that. Our e-newsletter, which is on the bottom right-hand side, one of the initiatives we did this year is we really are taking baby steps towards streamlining our messaging so that we can be more impactful with it. Historically, we had separate email lists and separate emails. We were only sending them out per zip code based on budget. So as an example, Waynesville got 4 emails a year to a small list of people. By combining our list into one and sending out emails regularly, Waynesville now gets 12 emails a year to more people. So every email is going to all consumers who've said, yes, I'm interested in Haywood County, and they're getting that message over and over and over again, which is just more opportunities to get our communities in front of them. Social media, again, very similarly, we're streamlining that. We're working really hard to become more efficient and more effective, which is more important. And we've been able to increase our Instagram engagement by 95% and our Facebook engagement by 102% by streamlining, combining, and being more strategic in what we do. Public relations, again, we're on page 9, I'm sorry. Forgot to keep you up with me. Thank you. Public relations is a new initiative for us this year, where we published an RFP seeking the best possible partner to work with us in the field of media relations, an agency who specializes in working with journalists, travel publications, lifestyle magazines, completely different way of getting our message out there. We onboarded them in September, and in just 4 months, we had 9 media placements, over 89 million media impressions, and over 1 million in advertising equivalency, which is one way of the success of it. So we strong ROI, return on investment, and my favorite was Fox News said Haywood County is one of 8 amazing fall mountain towns to visit this year, and it listed all 5 of our communities. So it was a great placement. We will jump ahead to page 12, please. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about our Zartico data in the rest of my presentation, but I do want to highlight this is really neat data. So Zartico is a little bit Big Brother-ish, but it's a mobile tracking platform that allows us to see where our visitors come from and how much they spend. So that map in the top left corner shows where our visitors come from. The bigger the circle, the more visitors come from that area. The darker the circle, the more money they spend. So we love Florida. Florida is also our #2 state for visitation. I also want to point out that 79% of visitors to Haywood County in 23 were from outside of North Carolina. So when we think back to those projects that we invested back in making Haywood County a better place to live and better place to visit, only 20% of it was paid for by North Carolinians. 80% was paid by folks from other states. Pretty powerful statistic. You can see our visitors love our outdoor economy. And then that little circle on the lower right-hand part of the page, 42 cents of every dollar spent in Haywood County in 23 was from a visitor. That's a big chunk of every dollar spent in Haywood County. And I'm gonna pause there because there's so much content and details in there. But again, you have the book in front of you. Please look through it. Again, that's 12 months. I didn't find myself at a short creek. So I'm gonna pause there. Any questions on the annual course of work?
Does anyone have any questions before we do like to? Yes. Well, thank you so much. All
right, and I'll go back to the rest of the presentation. Sorry, I wasn't done yet.
Thank you so much.
Up on the screen, you can see our year-over-year monthly occupancy tax comparison, looking at 21, 22, and 23. I like to show that it really does show we're a very seasonal destination with those peaks in June, July, August, September, and October. That sort of data is important to us and the team in ensuring we're looking at how do we fill those gaps and do a better job for all of our businesses. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Who's driving, Jesse?
I'm not thinking.
I got it. This is an example of some of the advertising that we're doing on behalf of the town of Waynesville. I'm jump through that really quickly. I mentioned our email newsletters. Again, they're going out every single month now. We are managing a variety of different digital and print placements on the behalf of Waynesville. A budget for calendar year 23 of $84,000. Some samples of some of those ads are up on the screen for you. Other updates for you. As you know, we had our first countywide ice festival weekend in January. Mother Nature was not kind, well, at least to the Saturday event, to the Friday night event. If any of you were able to come downtown, it was pretty darn amazing. So to quick highlight for you, here's the highlight of events that were all over the county for 3 days. And we have a nifty short video to play you that highlights the weekend. So it was a fabulous weekend. It was so much fun to pull together partners. We had an amazing list of sponsors, which helped us make it happen. We had volunteers this year for the first time. And I really want to highlight this. 55 participating partners joined us for the weekend. It's 2 slides worth of businesses, organizations, participants, including the town of Waynesville. Thank you for your beautiful hound ice carving. And I love events that are ticketed. We know, right, if you went to downtown Waynesville for the ice stroll, lots of people were there, but we don't know how many. The Maggie Valley Ice Festival, because it was ticketed, we do. We know how many people bought tickets, just shy of 2,500, and where they bought tickets from, This is identical, by the way, to the top 5 states that visit us all year long: North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida. What is really neat is, again, those of you that recall the lovely weather we had that weekend, it was literally pouring on Saturday, like torrential rain. And we still sold 555 tickets the day of in the pouring rain. So I think that speaks to the power of the event, that people are looking for something to do in the shoulder season, which is also, again, great incentive for us to keep moving forward. We did a very brief visitor survey, asked folks where they went. See, they went literally all over the county. We asked if they came back. Most of them said yes, and only 14% said no. So that's not bad for a first year. We asked if they were a local, a day tripper, or an overnighter. About a third. How many nights they spend, and a pretty high amount, spend 2 nights, and there's also 3 nights and more than 3 nights. Again, it's awesome that met our goal of driving the overnight stay. And hence, we are planning for 2025, so mark your calendars now, please, for January 31st, February 1st, and 2nd. And as you saw, we now have beautiful photos, video footage, which will just help us have a better job about the 3-day weekend. Quick highlight, we have launched our grant programs for fiscal year 5. Again, we're on the same fiscal cycle you are. So we have a grant workshop tomorrow, April 10th at 2 p.m. in the Lake Junaluska Bethea Welcome Center. If anybody needs to come, I know a few Waynesville folks came to the March 28th one. The initial deadline, this is a required deadline, is May 15th. We have built in 2 deadlines this year, so we have time to work with our applicants and hopefully help them improve their applications for more success. And then applications will be voted on at the June board meeting. And then, you know, we are working on a destination-wide tourism master plan and branding project. Some of you may have attended our event 2 weeks ago where our consultants, but really quickly, just want to highlight, we are really working to ensure this is Haywood County's master plan, not the TDA's master plan. And this is a snapshot of where we are at the end of February for the amount of folks we've been able to contact for their opinions and input as we start building this plan. Preliminary feedback, I love these words, these word clouds. If you haven't seen one, the bigger the word, the more often it was said. So this was just asking stakeholders, people who live and work in Haywood, what do you think? And none of these words were surprised to us. But when you really drill into this word cloud, what struck me, it's the only word cloud I've ever seen that is 100% positive. There's not a single negative word in there. And that speaks to the pride that everybody in Haywood County has, whether you're a transplant like me, or whether you're multi-generation local like John. And then we asked our visitors, what are 3 words you think describe Haywood County? This was over 1,000 visitors answered this survey. You can see the words are very, very similar, very, very positive. The only differences here are the visitors focus more on how coming here makes them feel. And again, it's very positive, very exactly what we need to know to make sure as we move forward, we retain that feeling and we're protecting it for decades to come. This is not about driving as many visitors as possible here. This is about bringing the right visitors and protecting what we have. Again, for decades, it's an economic driver for us, but we also have a special place and we want to keep. Finally, we heard unanimously, I believe, from all of our elected officials and town managers that we are better together. The county is better together. We heard that through the master plan, but I have data that showcases that. So I'm going to talk through that really quickly. I mentioned Zartico is a mobile tracking device that we use. We know if somebody is a visitor, so they came from more than 50 miles away and they stayed here for more than 2 hours, had to go somewhere. You're not tracked if you just drive through. You have to park your car, get out, and go in a restaurant, go in an attraction, or go in a hotel, as an example. This is just looking at spring, but it's very similar to the map that you saw in the annual report. We know where our visitors are coming from. We know what the visitors that are spending more money. Again, almost 80% of our visitors are from out of state, 20%-ish are from in-state. At any given time in the spring, 40% of our visitors, 40% of all mobile devices in Haywood County were from visitors, meaning 60% was from locals. And that aligns with the spend, 40 cents on every dollar. So pretty interesting there. But this is where they go. So in spring, about 28% are going to Maggie Valley Soco Road. Again, they're parking their car, getting out and going into something. But almost another 28% are going to Greater Canton. So I'm going to drill into those two just a little bit. This is where they go in Maggie. It's not highlighted, but if you can read all of those, I believe 7 of the 10 or 8 of the 10 are hotels. The Comfort Inn, the Quality Inn, don't forget Joey's Pancake House. It's always a top place. But they're staying in Maggie. But in Canton, they're going to Pisgah. Like, pretty significantly. And here's the fun one for you. The majority of them are spending their money in Waynesville, shopping and dining in Waynesville. So when I say we're better together, there's a whole lot of different ways you can interpret that statement, but we have data that shows our visitors really experience Haywood County as Haywood County, not as individual towns. And it's important that we remember that as we keep moving forward. And that is my quick highlight of all sorts of projects.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any further questions? Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you're doing.
Okay, we move on. We have a public hearing coming up to consider a 486 East Marshall Street, known as the historic Haywood County Hospital, in 8615-79-8480 to April 9th, 2024. You want to give us a little update there before we open our public hearing? Or should we open? Okay.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Show like sign. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This is a public hearing to consider a request for designation of a local landmark. The local landmark program is a program of the North Carolina State Historic Office and the town of Waynesville. It recognizes historic properties and works to preserve them by working cooperatively with the property owner through a tax discount, if you would. The Haywood Hospital at 486 East Marshall Street was listed in the National Register on June 18th of 2018. After a multi-year renovation process, the hospital was converted into the Brookmont Lofts and issued a certificate of occupancy as a multifamily apartments in May of 2022. The Waynesville Historic Commission heard and considered a request from the Brookmont Lofts LLC to be considered for a local landmark. And the application and report was also forwarded to the State Historic Preservation Office for comment. Both our Waynesville Historic Preservation Commission and the state confirmed that the documentation provided, the historic elements of the property, and the efforts of the owners to restore and maintain those elements justify the designation as a local landmark and the tax benefits, as well as the demolition limitations associated with that designation. Here tonight are Mr. John Stiltner and Jack Sarai from the Brookmont Lofts LLC. We also have a few members of our Historic Preservation Commission who've come in support of this designation. We feel that the applicant has provided adequate documentation to find that this property meets the criteria for a local landmark because, one, the hospital building and portion of the grounds are already on the National Register of Historic Places. The applicant has also provided documentation showing that their renovation and work to rehabilitate the property maintains the historic integrity of the original architecture in a way that will preserve the structure even as it had converted its use to a multifamily residential facility. Additionally, the State Historic Preservation Office confirmed its support of the application, and a copy of their letter is in your materials. And the applicant has also made a significant investment into the rehab of the property and will continue to maintain it as the ongoing owner and manager of the site. Designations of local landmark are important because they provide incentives for property owners to restore and maintain our historic structures. The Brookmont Lofts project is a good example of reinvestment and reuse of a historic structure. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, but I also would recommend that you hear from our historic commission and the applicants themselves.
Any further questions for BT? Okay.
Thank you.
I will open it up to the public there if anyone would like to speak on behalf. Just come up and give your name, and town attorney will keep a 3-minute time limit on your. Anyone like to speak on behalf?
Y'all go ahead and then I'll follow.
Mayor, thank you, sir.
Please give your name.
Name's John Stilner. I'm the Director of Development for Landmark Asset Services, and we are the applicant for this local landmark designation. I want to just start by saying I always look forward to coming to Waynesville, one of my favorite towns, North Carolina. We are out of Winston-Salem. Our corporate offices also live as well. It was a long road, as Elizabeth said. Multiple years of applications went in, a lot of support from the community, this governing body, the county, and after 3 years of submission, we finally secured an award to North Carolina Housing Finance Agency that put a lot of equity towards redeveloping the project. But I want to recognize more of the support of town of Waynesville and all the efforts that the staff, this governing body, and the citizens inside of the community were involved in and what they put towards the project. We started here in 2015. In 2015, board of school met with the county, met with a couple town officials, and started working on our application process, started working on designation. And to get the project pushed over the hump, Waynesville jumped in and helped the project go into the redevelopment pool of the state application process, which is a special set aside for projects that are being supported by the community to save them. At Landmark, one of our missions is revitalization through connectivity and preserving local landmarks, local buildings, heritage, and places that people have fond memories of, sad memories of. Hospital itself, I've heard stories from all sides, sad stories. I got emails that I would read, but I don't want to cry because everybody's story, everybody has a connection that's from this town, even born there, worked there. So we are just grateful to be involved in it, and that the county and the town allowed us to be the stewards to carry this project forward to successfully complete it. We got our award. We started construction in 2020. Yeah, and right in the middle of COVID, and that made it a little tough. It took us about 18 months to complete the project. A lot of challenges. The design team, as well as the construction company, worked diligently to overcome those. But we couldn't have done it without the Waynesville staff and the different departments that are here, from the utility department to the inspections department, and Elizabeth, and everybody on her team. So I just wanted to let everybody how much we appreciate y'all allowing us to and inviting us into your home in town to work and revitalize Haywood Hospital. I won't go into too much history of it because I'll probably know and tell me stories that I and teach me. So I'll keep it short since I have 3 minutes. But I would ask if you have any questions for me. I was also the construction manager on it, so I was there times a month. If there's any
Any questions?
I don't have a question. I do have a comment, and I just want to thank you. I'm sure, like many others on this council, we were born there. And just to watch that building kind of slowly crumble over the years, it was heartbreaking. And and so when you guys came in, and it's just perfect. And so I am so appreciative for you guys and all of your efforts to return that beautiful old building to a functionality that, you know, it's useful and it's living again. And so thank you. I'm so grateful that you guys came along.
Councilman Beck, thank you so much. And it is going to continue to serve this community for hopefully another century. So, and I want to introduce Jack Sarai, who's our director of asset management. Who this is his baby. He watches after it. He's involved in daily stuff that goes on there, as well as budgets, billings, and if we have any issues, brings it to property management attention or the development attention. I want to.
Yeah, as John mentioned, it was just a tremendous honor to work with everyone from the town of Waynesville. Just to see this project come together, you know, being there from the start of the construction to see, you know, me doing punch lists of the different apartments to make sure everything's, you know, ready to go. And just seeing that transformation for us, it's really the main reason why we do what we do. And we really focus on, you know, historic buildings as well, whether it be, you know, an old school or old hospital. So I just wanted to say it's a tremendous honor, you know, and I've really enjoyed my time in Waynesville when I've had the chance to come down here. And again, thank you all, and thank you for the town of to the town of Waynesville. I appreciate it.
Are you full up?
We are, and I believe we also have a waiting list of it. Now, it's been a great project, and for those who don't know, in the data reuse, it created 54 apartment targeting and designation. We did designate it as family property, but the targeting of demographic design, it is 31 one-bedroom units and 23 bedroom units. So our targeting of seniors and small families, single mothers, single fathers, it has been successful. We have a large population of seniors in the hospital, and everybody seems to love their home. So, and I'm sure they have stories to tell as well as they live in a hospital, because you can imagine.
I actually got to take a tour before you opened, and I told the guys here, it turned out really, really nice. I mean, I was really pleased that you were able to use some of the floors and stuff that were in the old hospital. That makes it even more, you know, pleasant to walk through. And so you done an excellent job on restoring that.
There's so many small detailed features and just special things and unique things about this hospital that I think for us, one thing that we felt like we needed and had to do was revitalize the entrance and and you know, put that back the way it was, and you know, preserve the grounds and the oak trees, and try not to mess with that too much, because that be away from the town of Waynesville for 50 years and come back tomorrow, you're going to recognize, you're going to drive by, and you just it's in the gate, it's in the gateway to downtown, and you drive by it every day, and sometimes you don't notice it, but when it's not there, you notice it's not there. And if you've been away from Waynesville and you drive by it, it's going to be one of the first things you notice. And I can't take survey on that, but I feel like I feel like that's what. So thank you, thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we will open it. We don't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Alex McKay. I'm your chair of historic preservation. I just want to commend the applicants for doing such a wonderful job. I was able to go in before with county maintenance, and I mean, Gary, you saw what terrible shape that building was in. The county had stored a lot of architectural features from when they had did the restoration of the courthouse in the morgue. So that's why I was in there getting some light fixtures and stuff. I mean, it was in terrible, terrible shape. And to bring the building, like you said, back to life, it's just been wonderful. They've been great neighbors. I've got a house right behind them, father's house. They've been great neighbors. And it's a pretty historic preservation. We fully support them and wish we had more of them.
Thanks, Al. Anyone else like to speak?
I know I've already been up for
Oh, you come right back up. You're more than welcome.
Candace Holatic, and this is probably what I should have spoken to begin with, but just saying from a property owner's standpoint, because I look at the side of that building every day. My house is the only one on that block faces the side of that building. That building has come to life over there. It's a beautiful community of people. I see babies in strollers, and I see older people, and everybody loves it over there. It's well put together. It's nice to look at. I think making it a landmark and holding that historic is really important, not just for my property values. I think it's good for the community. So.
Thank you again. Anyone else would like to speak? Okay, good. Need a motion to close public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion to Chuck.
Second.
Second, Anthony. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So like sign. Okay, next up is the adoption.
Mr. Mayor, if I can step in, as a 30-plus member of the National Trust for Historic Preservation, it gives me great honor to ask for this motion to adopt the attached ordinance to designate Brookmont Lofts and the property at 486 Marshall Street, PIN 8615-79-8480 as a local landmark effective April the 9th, 2024.
Okay, got a motion by
Second.
Julie. Second, John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So like sign. You're in. Thank you again so much. Okay, we will move on to new business. Fire Department part-time budget amendment. Joey Webb.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The part-time budget was decreased through our last two budgets. We do not have enough part-time staff available to fill those positions. And now we have added several more firefighters to the part-time list. A lot of people want to work here now. And those two positions are filled 12 hours a day. We have two positions 12 hours a day. So this really helps us in the needed manpower that we need. It's especially going to be important in this summer as Russ Avenue is under construction to possibly put a truck on that end in the northern part of our district to get to respond to emergencies quicker. So we're asking for $45,000 to get us through this year's budget due to the increase of availability for people to fill those positions.
Question for Joey.
I'll make a motion to amend the fire department part-time budget in the amount of $45,000 taken from the fund balance.
Second.
Your second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So like sign. Thank you, Joey. Thank you so much. See you soon. Okay. Downtown Waynesville full physical campaign proposal, Ms. Beth Gilmore.
Thank you. I am here tonight to present a recommendation from the Downtown Waynesville Commission to move forward with a contract with Knight Creative to develop a 12-month marketing campaign. The campaign would be used ultimately to further develop our Appalachian True brand that we've spent quite a bit of time developing with Hornsby Creative. Now that we've got our brand in place, we've also got a website that we developed thanks to the TDA grant. And now we would like to take these tools and start using them more strategically to promote and market the district, to create content that we can use for website and social media, ultimately to drive traffic here to the district and support the shops and the restaurants downtown. In the past, we have taken perhaps a more random approach to marketing and promotions. We knew we had special events to advertise, but every event was just sort of a piecemeal of how do we want to get the word out there. So we feel like this contract would enable us to combine all of those efforts into one package deal that would allow us to be more strategic about creating the content and then also getting the content out there into marketing space. So we would like to work with Knight Creative, which is the company that developed our website. If we move forward with this particular proposal, we would create 12 months, a 12-month communication plan that would actually define the messaging that we want to get out throughout the year. It would plan the social media posts, all of the website content, newsletters, blogs, videos, so that all of our messaging is consistent and working together to develop our Appalachian True brand. And would actually not only create the content, drive the plan, but would actually execute that plan by getting it out into the world in a more strategic and cohesive way. So I have included a copy of the contract as well. I believe Jesse today gave you a thicker packet, which is kind of like a portfolio from Knight Creative. It includes examples of everything that our plan would include, and also other add-on options which are included at the end of the contract proposal. There's some add-on optional things. There's examples of those in that packet that Jesse gave you today as well. And I can answer any questions about any that you might have further details.
Yes, I do, actually. What's the total cost of the project? Because I've seen a couple of different prices from 16,000 up to 48.
Okay, 38 is the cost of the 12-month campaign. What we are hoping to do, we've got about 15 to 16,000 still in our advertising budget for this current fiscal year that we would like to allocate toward that, and then pay the balance of this contract with next year's budget.
John, you have a question?
I do not have a question. I will tell you this is much needed, and as Beth indicated, the marketing heretofore has really been kind of haphazardly applied, and this is a more thoughtful, planned approach, and we've had an extensive conversation about this at our last meeting, and I'm all for it.
Julie, you have a question?
Yes, I agree completely with what John's saying. I think it's much needed. Just
Sure.
push us over that line.
Okay, go even. Okay. Then we'll need a motion to approve the fiscal year campaign proposal by Canopy Creative.
So moved.
A motion by Julia.
Second.
Second by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks
How's
so
the new
much.
restaurant going? Just told
The
me the first
diner?
day was Monday.
Today, right?
Well, I ate breakfast there last week as part of their soft opening, and I thought it was delicious.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard has been great. Did they open today?
They
They were
opened
opening?
today.
Today's the first day.
And it looks great inside.
It's
If you
beautiful.
go inside,
I wish
it
Alex had not left, but I think Alex had a big hand
He
in design, in putting memorabilia in. So I'd like to publicly
It's
thank
it's
him for
definitely
that.
gonna be an asset
For
for
sure.
the town.
It
We
will.
needed another place on the street to, to have lunch and breakfast also.
Breakfast.
Yeah, have breakfast too, don't we?
And we're getting ready to have another place on West Avenue for lunch and dinners.
And there's also another new restaurant that, on Rush Avenue, it's,
Red Fox.
the Red Fox, I was trying to think of the name of it.
That's the Baker family that owns Boojum on Main Street.
Yeah, and they have spent, a bundle of money to bring it up to, today's standards, and I think that's gonna be another asset for our town, for that end of town. And they're hoping to get people from the new apartments down there to walk, back and forth, there and get some walking traffic for that. I read a good article on that. So that's another good restaurant that's, coming to Waynesville. So we're growing.
And Kelsey Baker, one of the owners, is also, one of our representatives on the TDA.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll move to, number 7, Jeff. Going to increase in budget for capital purchase. Want to explain that?
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me. We had an approved item in this fiscal year budget of a sewer vac truck. I'm gonna hit a few highlights of what this truck will do. Of course, it'll help with our washing, our sewer line, or our, it also does hydro excavation, much less invasive when you dig out utilities. It also has bypass capabilities of sewer line. Working on sewer line or a manhole, you can bypass. That's just a few of its capabilities. It also has a midship lateral service line hose reel on it. The original quote was for $475,000 was the budgetary number. And as you know, things increase from the time you budget to the time you actually order. So there was a slight increase of $30,000. We have that money in a different line, so we're asking to be able to use that money to supplement the original request. So there'll be 2 requests: approval of the truck and then the approval of using that supplemental money.
Did you say it would allow hydro excavation like what we did?
Yes, like what we did for the post.
It also saves us tremendous amount of time because it can suck the leaves and debris from storm sewers. As you know, it takes 2 or 3 guys with shovels 30 or 40 minutes to get a box done. It'll do it in 5 minutes. So it has a tremendous benefit for our stormwater program.
Any guys on your end, you got any questions for me?
So we actually need 2 motions.
I'll defer to Rob. Do we need 2 motions? One for the.
Well, let me mention the truck was available on the sheriff's line service. Yes. And so you can make one motion to purchase the truck at this price.
Okay, we'll need a motion to approve the increase in funds to purchase the vacuum vehicle.
That's not, we need the budget amendment.
You want to do
we'll need 2 motions.
Need
We'll
2
need 2
motions.
motions.
So the money's already there. Okay, fantastic. I'll make a motion to approve the increase in funds to purchase the backhaul vehicle.
Second. Bill second, Chuck, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vote like the sign. You got it, get her ordered.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to.
We never had.
Number 8, project, budget amendments for the American Rescue Plan funds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you remember from the ARP program, we are required to spend the money by the end of the budget year. And as Taylor and Misty were working on those, working on that program to see what items have been underspent or overspent, we found that there were several items where we had a balance. And that's quite positive for us because that balance would allow town to consider purchasing an electric riding lawnmower for the recreation department, the repair and capping of the tennis courts. And of course, you had two citizens come in last week for that. The replacement of the HVAC unit in the second floor of the city hall. That hasn't been in place for years. And then, excuse me, the repair of pumps and tanks at the water plant. This would be the tank for sodium hydroxide or flock, and then another tank for fluoride. We also would like to purchase a bypass sewer pump. Now, that is not for the sewer plant. That's a pump it's essentially a large mud hog pump that allows us to pump out an area where we're trying to get to the repair, and we have to pump it from one manhole to another. We recently had to rent one down near the dam at Lake Junaluska. If you remember, we had a sewer failure there, a blockage, and we had to rent one for a month or two while we worked on that. So this is the purchase of a back of a bypass, sewer bypass pump. But it's not connected to the sewer plant.
Yeah.
It's a portable piece of equipment.
Okay. Questions for Rob?
These are all coming out of the remaining ARP funds that we need.
Yeah. We're trying to make sure that you have to have all those out by the end of 2024.
That's right. They have to be obligated.
Yeah.
Kind of safe to do it now.
Okay.
I have a question for Misty.
Okay.
A couple of those items are eligible for federal tax, elected pay, the heat pump and the electric lawnmower. I'm sure you'll look into whatever we need to do to recoup that money.
You should get a rebate.
30% on the heat pump, and I'm not sure how much.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance that amends the ARP project ordinance.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Thank you. John, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, move on to manager's report. Mr. Manager, you got anything to report?
No, sir. I'll have plenty to say when we get to the budget, but that's a couple weeks from now.
I'm sorry, could I say one more thing about what we just agreed to purchase? Sure. This electric lawnmower has a big battery on it. It'll work for about 8 hours.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
just for clarity of them. Yes.
Who think that yeah, right. No, it should be.
Is it a battery like you can have like a spare and have it charged?
Probably so.
And
Yes.
ready to go?
Yeah, but it will work a whole
Keep
shift.
it going?
Yeah, we're not buying a spare. I can see you. I think what we'll do is we'll just charge once the day's over. It's supposed to have an 8-hour charge. We're just like a vehicle. We'll plug it in at night and have it ready the next day.
Okay. Okay.
It charges to 80%. And then, yeah, so,
That sounds good. I want to see this go.
yeah, and let me mention that we're gonna be able to buy this locally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bypass.
I believe so.
Yeah, bypass.
I believe so.
That makes it even better. Spend money on
Yeah, it's
all
a
the time.
steel mower. But I believe I know we're buying it locally because Luke told me.
Yeah, he is a steel dealer.
Yep.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, that's good news. Okay, Ms. Town Attorney?
Yes, well, as Councilman Biker pointed out earlier tonight, before she made months here, we have rain. Took a few months and still might need to catch up a bit. But I finally went through, the ordinance and all of the references to Board of Aldermen, and because we do have other governing bodies and decision-making bodies that are still called boards, we did in fact encounter a situation where it looked like it might create some confusion, so I definitely made it a priority. So it's pretty simple, you're just resolution of intent, call for hearing, and not go ahead with putting those items on the calendar for this night. On the notice for those items and.
Okay. Chuck, you have? No. Anything on that? You?
No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to place a resolution of intent and call for hearing to amend the town's charter of code of ordinance to reflect the governing board's correct title on the agenda for the April 23rd, 2024 meeting of the town council.
Okay, got a motion by Anthony.
Second.
Second by Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay. Move on to communication from the moderator and council. Let's see. I'll just catch you up a little bit. I asked Rob to look into about the Sutton property up there because nothing has occurred in about a couple months since we asked about it there. And so Lady Kelly, our head inspector, gave me a call and said that a couple of the folks, from the family are pulling permits to do the demolition on that building up there. And they have been moving a few cars around, but he is going to keep me posted on that. But there is going to be some movement there. Rob, do you have anything to add to that?
No, sir.
That's pretty much what.
That's what David told me.
Yeah, that's pretty much what David taught me up on. So that's definitely some good news about getting another eyesore they're taken care of. And if you have anything else, so we'll start on this end.
Yep. As you know, South Main, there has been lots of movement with the cleaning up of that area, and then Cookout demoed their building, and it's now demoed and they're ready to start construction.
Yeah, they pull permits too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of change going on South Main.
So they're going to go ahead and build that before they start the South Main road improvements. They're going to go ahead and and do that. Yeah. Okay, that's good news. All right, John, you have anything, my friend?
I'm a little bit put out that they're putting a cookout there because their peanut butter Oreo milkshake is the bomb, and I need
to try that.
I need another incentive to buy a milkshake like I need a home bed. So
You got me on that. Yeah, sure.
I keep hearing they have something like 40 different kinds.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Indeed,
They
yes.
do. Oh, they do. And I've had about 36 of them.
Yeah, sure. Julie, you have anything?
Mr. Mayor, I've got two things just quickly, and I apologize that it was not brought to your attention tonight, and hope we'll get it at the next meeting here in 2 weeks. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month nationally, and as well as Child Abuse Awareness Month. And so at your pleasure at the next meeting there on 23rd, I think it's 3rd of April, I will bring you both the proclamations from the governor of the state of North Carolina, and you will just reiterate that and share that with the public.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. I actually see that somewhere. I read about that. Yeah.
And there are pinwheels on the courthouse wall.
Yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
blue pinwheels are, the
The
child
blue
abuse
pinwheels.
awareness, yes.
Yeah. Chuck?
I'll be absent from the next meeting, I'm going to attend the North Carolina Energy Conference in Raleigh, along with at least three other members of the Environmental Sustainability Board. I hate to miss, but it looks like a really good conference. The track, there are about 4 or 5 different tracks. So the board really wants to cover everything we can. And it's also supposed to be a great network. Again, there are just so many things going on. It is really amazing. I've met with Land of the Sky yesterday, along with William Height. We're looking at another grant working on. There's just lots of stuff going on, and I really feel like it's important to get together. I'm sorry I'll be gone. But
I think you might have time to stop by and see our legislator about the sewer plant.
Probably not, to tell you the truth. I think it probably starts at the morning, goes on all day.
It's all scheduled.
Over at the McKimmon Center.
What, man?
It's at the McKimmon Center, which is kind of on the other side of Raleigh.
It's close to downtown Raleigh in the way that Asheville.
Oh, okay. Wow, spread out.
Yeah, it is, it's not, and it's on the opposite side of the state.
Yeah. Off in the jump is, okay.
The mayor, if I may, I forgot to mention it, but your comments about South Main movement reminded me, I did prepare a link form for our tax collector to be able to register our tax liens with the clerk of court. Obviously, we don't have to do that against the real property, but part of the problem, and it has been, is that we have title searchers from out of county, or down in Charlotte or other metro areas who aren't aware that municipal taxes can be collected separately from county taxes. And they aren't contacting our tax office or our finance department or using the portal to confirm outstanding taxes. So we want to make sure that all of those properties on South Main that are about to go through the DOT determination process get caught up.
Yeah.
So, pilot registering that lien at the clerk of court, they're gonna have to run, searches for judgments, against, property owners in this county to make sure that there aren't other liens against the property. So this will put us in that category of will be found as opposed to could be found. And hopefully that will clean up those few properties down on South Main for all.
That's good. That's good.
And it's $6 to file. So it's low cost. Sharon can do it herself. She doesn't need to come back to me for assistance unless she has a specific question about.
You have spoken with her about.
Yeah, I've sent it to Ms. Smith and the tax collector with instructions. Of course, I'm always available to make it simple enough to make it fit themselves. And that cost would be collectible. So if we were to.
You get your $6 back.
We can get our $6 back, basically.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, with no further.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Chuck, all in favor, say aye. I don't think anybody's gonna vote, so.
We'll tell her.
Yeah, sure.
I was talking.
If we do, we'll.
Where did they come up with the name Red Hawk?